Okay, my name is Jordan Lane, and I'm filming this video for EDU 208 English Language Learners, discussion forum 4. So I'm going to be talking about basically what we talked about in the discussion, and it's about how culture influences student learning and teacher instruction. So when you're teaching the English language to people who don't know the English language, it's kind of like a huge part of the classroom dynamic to know the students' culture and to incorporate their culture into the classroom, because they're coming into a completely different state, a completely different country most of the time, and they don't know the English language. They're not used to the English culture, so it's important that we make sure we incorporate their culture, talk about their culture, try and include them as much as possible just to make them more comfortable and easier for them to learn in our classroom. In the textbook, it says culture is the explicit and implicit patterns for living, the dynamic system of a commonly agreed upon symbols and meanings, knowledge, belief, art, morals, law, customs, behaviors, traditions, and or habits that are shaped to make up the total way of life of a people as negotiated by individuals in the process of constructing a personal identity. So that's basically the definition of culture. And so it's just so important. It's their identity. It's the student's identity. So we incorporate all of our English culture into our classrooms. So if you have an English language, an ELL student in your classroom, you need to make sure that you do these certain steps so that you can relate to them. Because also when you're teaching the English language, you actually don't need to know the student's language, which I found really interesting. Like, we don't need to know their language in order to teach it. We just need to be able to relate to them, and to relate to them is a great way to relate with them is to know their culture. Okay, then I want to talk about the type of assessments I believe that are best suited to close the age gap. And I think the best, I only have one, and I think that it would be the formative assessments. Now, in the video that says 5 common types of assessment for young children, it said it may be necessary to use multiple assessments to gather sufficient information for children, which I do. It was kind of like my counter argument. Like, yeah, like I agree, but I think for the English language learners, I think that formative assessment is what I would use, just because it's a great way to try and assess the students, and each and every student has like they're at a different stage in their learning. So formative assessment is a great way to figure out where they are, because it's not like, okay, it's the same assessment for every single person. No, it's an assessment that can be for this person, where a different stage they're at, because some students may come in knowing a little English, a handful of English, or none at all. So you need to make sure that you have assessments that can fit all of them, and a formative assessment is the best way, I think, personally, to do that. Thank you.